You are listening to the First Down Breakdown with Beast and Breeze picks.
Like I've been ballin' cause I'm really ballin'. I wanna buy the Jags, I'm not really sorry.
All right, what is going on, folks? We are back. It's week 7 of the NFL season, guys. As always, I'm Beast Picks. This is my guy Breeze Picks, and this is the First Down Breakdown. So kind of an interesting week 6 for us. Breeze kept it hot, man. I know he had like his week off with the cold, but he came out hot last week, 5-3. I started off awful on the week, guys. Can't even lie. I want to say I was 1-5 to start off, and then I kind of crawled back with 3 wins. I had Cowboys, and then I hit 2 player props on Sunday and Monday night. So crawled back to 4-5. But on the season right now, Breeze is 29-18-2, and then I'm 20-21. So I'm below 500, guys. Got to get it going. How you feeling today, Breeze?
How about them Raiders, baby?
Hey, I shouldn't have even shown my face today. That was a tough loss, man.
That was the first thing I was going to bring up.
Hey, Teddy Bridgewater, man. I was thinking about doing his player props tonight for yards, but I couldn't even get behind the guy after what I saw last week. Just a tough loss there.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't play over to start with. I was like looking at that like after the 1 o'clock games. I'm like, I'm definitely taking the over. It was like 40. I think I got it like 47 or 48.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So
definitely high scoring. So yeah, it was a good week. I mean, definitely reached a little bit on Monday night, but with taking the second half under, thought it would be a good play, but it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of happens sometimes, especially, you were 5-2 entering Monday Night Football, kind of a heat check, if anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that happens, but I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't really think I even had like a bad beat on the week. I think I took Texans, plus 10 last week, thinking, oh my God, that's so many points. And I want to say the score was like 31-3, like Indy beat them. And I'm just like, you know what, man, like, I try to convince myself it's a good idea to take these big favorites, and there's a lot of big favorites this week, and it's just like sometimes it just deflates everything you have in you.
So. Thursday night game was tough. I was like, this is gonna be a rough week. Just like having the over there, everything happened. Just
yeah, that was a really weird game.
Missed field goal, then they drive it down. They're in the red zone. You think they're just gonna like run out the clock and take a field goal. They throw the ball, which was a very aggressive call, but throw it, get the first down, and then take a knee. So that was tough, but yeah, definitely was the right play. Just got screwed.
Yeah, it felt like the right play. Honestly, Eagles +7. That was a cover if I've ever seen one. They go for 2. I don't know, man. You can't tell me that the public. Yeah, I knew something was going to happen with that game, and it's like that's why you stay away. There's always some fishy shit like that, but it is what it is. I guess anybody that Eagles +7, man, congrats, but that's why I stayed away from it. So, but I guess we can get into this week's games, man. I know you got a play on Thursday Night Football, so if you want to lead it off here. Yeah,
for sure. So for Thursday night, it's kind of be a shit show of a game, but we're going to go. Where an official play for me is in this one, I'm going Browns -2. That's what I got. If you want, what's the money line at? Probably like -145.
Yeah, I'm seeing right now it's -130, so even better.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I'm gonna take -2 just to like cut that juice out. Just see there's way too many people on the Broncos. And I don't think their Browns defense is too bad. I know they've had some bad weeks last week, especially, but I think the pass rush is going to get to Teddy Bridgewater and keep it close. I don't think Chase Keenum is as bad as people think. I think he's a pretty average quarterback. Probably needs to make the throws he needs to make. And I know they have a lot of injuries in the running game with Chubb and Hunt, but still think they have some weapons on that offense. I think they can hang around, and they're at home, and I know they know it's like a must-win game for them. 3-3, they got to get this one.
Yeah,
so the Browns here.
Browns -2.
Yeah, that's my official play in this one.
Yeah, I don't have a play on this game, but kind of feel like there's definitely some value there with the Browns. I mean, everybody will see like the public percentage is, I want to say it's like 52 or 54%. So it's kind of like a split, but it's all these guys that are, you know, supposedly the experts that are writing, you know, like if you were to look up like a CBS sports article about betting, like all these experts that say that they kind of know what they're doing, or like, oh, you know, Broncos is the play. So I actually kind of feel like there actually might be, you know, some money that's being thrown on Denver that, you know, Vegas, you know, seems to clean up sometimes. So I guess we'll see what happens with this game. I'm staying away, but I kind of see what you're saying. Honestly, with the way Baker Mayfield's played, because he's been injured, I'm not really so sure like Case Keenum is going to be, you know, some drastic difference. I mean, Case Keenum, you know, proved he could play a couple years ago in Minnesota. I know it's not the same guy now, but
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do tonight. I like Browns -2 as well. So,
And my
yeah,
thing was like, I just wish I would have taken like Broncos earlier in the week. I mean, like, if you saw that hit on Baker, like, there was no way he was going to play.
yeah, for
I know he
sure.
kept saying he was going to play, but like, those are like great spots to like take that team, and then if he's out, you just take the other side and get maybe hit both, get +7, -2, try to hit both. But yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I guess moving into the 1 o'clock games, I got a game. I'll start it off because you know I'm wearing my Chad Johnson Ocho Cinco jersey, so might as well start off. Hey, we're
Mr.
going Bengals plus.
McDonald's,
What's that?
that Mr. McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's that cures everything. So, hey, Bengals +6.5, man. I know this podcast has almost become like a
Uh,
Ravens hating podcast, man. We're probably like the number one haters of the Ravens at this point. But listen, dude, I cannot get behind the Ravens. I know that they looked good last week and kind of, you know, have deflated me like multiple times throughout this year, but dude, the Bengals looked so good against the Lions last week, and I know it's like you don't want to have too much recency bias, but even the week before, dude, they could have beat Green Bay if they had a competent kicker. Honestly, that was the worst kicking you know, battle between two teams I've ever seen. But they had every chance they needed to beat Green Bay. If their kicker just makes one kick, we're looking at a
yeah,
team that instead of you know losing to Green Bay, now it's like wow, that's a big win over the Packers. So I just, in my opinion, I'm going to take that that Bengals team that's kind of pretty hot right now, in my opinion. Just looking at how they've played the last 2 weeks, I've liked kind of their form coming into this game, and then I'm also looking at, we always say, man, the public loves Lamar Jackson. They love that Ravens team. There's like 60% of bets on the Ravens right now. I don't think the Bengals are that bad. And this is an in division game. These in division games always seem to kind of be a battle. It's going to mean a lot. I get that the game's in Baltimore, but I'm riding with Cincy all day, man. I'm gonna wear my Chad Ocho Cinco jersey and
yeah.
+6.5. That's a lot of points to give a team that I think's pretty good.
No, yeah, I like that, but you know, I'm sure I've got a lot of a lot of hate for my comments I've made on this podcast regarding the Ravens. So I said I'd let it go for a week. I really like them, but I said, you know, torn into them enough, gotten
Yeah.
screwed by them twice. And like exactly last week, like no reason why they should have won that game. They did have a good game, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then like everyone's back on the fucking bandwagon, like Ravens Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, maybe the Chargers just shat the bed. Like,
Yeah. So
I
I
don't know.
guess we'll see.
I think it's the right play. Like there's a lot of points. I think last time they played, Burrow had like 67 like total like passing yards, something wild against the
Yeah.
Ravens. I
Yeah.
don't
So
expect that again.
yeah, maybe it's kind of, and that's the thing too, is maybe Burrow has something to prove in this game. Obviously, like I said, any in division game means just a little bit more. Every game
Yeah,
matters, obviously, but it's just a little bit more. They're going to be probably battling, for the playoffs. I think that they're going to be in this race for sure, in that division. So I think maybe last week was a get right game a little bit too. They tough loss
yeah,
to the Packers in overtime, and then you come out and just absolutely massacre the Lions. It's always a good spot. So.
for sure.
But yeah, so we'll keep it going though. How about let's go to the Patriots and Jets game? I know you have the first half of a teaser, and I also have the first half of a teaser. So lead that one off for me, man.
Yeah, so that one, I think the Pats have just been getting screwed lately. Honestly, they're hanging in these games. They're not winning. I think this is a must-win game for them. 7's too much. I think they probably win by 4 here, so I bought them down to a teaser -1.
Yep.
Last year, I think they won 25-9. But I think Jets got a little better this year. I still think -7 might not. If it goes down to 6.5, -6.5 won't be a bad play here. But I just see like being at home has to be a must-win game for them. And Jets are coming back from London, so I think there's gonna be a little tiredness there. I know they're off a bye, but still like going to London, coming back from a bye, then having to get up to play again. I feel like definitely gonna be a little out of it at first at the beginning. So like Patriots first half might not be bad either.
Yeah, no, I mean,
My official plays Pats -1 and a teaser, and then I'll announce the other one later on.
yeah, definitely. I'm on the same thing as you. First half of a teaser. I'll get to, I guess, my second half as well. But same thing, Patriots -1. You pretty much just summed it up. And honestly, I just think it has to do with the Jets kind of stink. And that 25-6 game, I don't even know if 25-6 really tells that story, that game. Zach Wilson was so bad in that game. It was a joke. I had Jets +5.5. That was probably one of the worst performances I've had out of all my bets this year. Losing by 19 does not even show how bad that game was. And the other thing is, man, we just need them to win. And
Yeah.
the Patriots are just it's Belichick. He is a much different level of coach. This is in Foxborough, so in my opinion, I just don't see how the Patriots lose this game. Now, granted, watch the Jets come out and break my heart, but it's been 5 in a row. I want to say it might even be more than that, but I'm just looking at the last 5 matchups going back to 2019. Patriots don't lose, and especially at home, I don't think they're going to lose this game. So I just think the Jets stink. Patriots just got to win for us. So that's always a nice one to have. So, all right, let's go. How about, you know what? My second half of that I have is Packers over the Washington football team. I know you were kind of saying you kind of liked the Washington football team full game, and it's 7.5 on DraftKings is what I saw, but I'm seeing it 8.5. So we'll just say 7.5 because it works better for my cause because I teased it down to -1.5, and I don't feel confident taking over 7 points with the Packers. But I also just feel like the Washington football team, man, that defense just has a lot of holes that we've talked about. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to cook, like kind of just like we said a little bit with the Patriots game. I just need them to win by 2. But I just I don't really see this game going any other way in Green Bay than the Packers coming out and winning by at least a field goal. So if you guys get that to -2.5, whatever, in that teaser, I'm still taking it. Whatever number you have, 8.5, 8, tease it down. I just think Aaron Rodgers, man, that team, they're cooking. 5-0 since that loss against Jameis in week 1, man. They looked so awful. I think Aaron Rodgers is like, yep, we got to get our shit together. And they have. They've looked really, really good. So I'm taking Packers in this one.
Yeah, I like that. The only reason why I was leaning towards Washington football team, just so many damn points. Like 8's a lot, but yeah, like you said, I don't think they're as good as we make them, but I still think 8's a lot. I don't think they win this game. So I definitely think you're on the right side here for sure.
Yeah, I got one more 1:00 game. I don't know. You don't have any more 1:00s, correct?
Yeah, I didn't love the early slate.
Yeah, and that's what's tough, man, is I got buried in the 1:00s last week. So
And the boys are having a weekend this weekend.
yeah, trying to save up the money for the 4:00s and the night games. So
yeah, so I was like, the boys are having their weekend. Probably not going to be watching much football for like the 1:00. So I was like, I'll probably tune into the later games. That way I don't have to feel shitty about trying to watch them on my phone or anything.
Yeah, for sure. I understand it, man. My last 1:00 game though that I do have, I got Chiefs -5.5 over the Titans. That has everything to do with. I think the Chiefs are kind of hitting stride. We said last week was kind of a get right game. I think it really showed that. They kind of started slow, and I remember everybody kind of being on Twitter like, wait a minute, is Pat Mahomes like not the same Pat Mahomes? And then what did they do? They got it going and they won comfortably. They covered for you last week. And you were completely right on your assessment last week. Definitely a get right game. But I'm also looking at the Titans, and I just feel like they're getting a little bit too much credit. I know that they played good last week and stayed around and won that game, obviously. But at the same time, I just feel like the Chiefs might be hitting stride, and you're giving them to me -5.5. I just feel like -5.5. We kind of always say, don't give me the Chiefs under 6 or under 7, whatever the number you want to pick. You're asking me to just take the Chiefs -5.5 over a Titans team that until last week, I was not impressed by. So I'm not going to take one game last week and think, oh man, the Titans must be back. I get that the Chiefs defense isn't great and they got to be able to stop Derrick Henry. That can be, potentially an issue. But I just still think the Chiefs win by at least 7. This might be one of those games that people give the Titans a little bit too much credit. And I'm going to just cash in on Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs getting -5.5. I love that number.
Yeah, I like that. I think I don't have a play on this one, but if I would have went anywhere, I probably would have gone over. I think it's probably a high number. Like, what is it? Probably like 57, I think. Or
Yeah, it was
50.
like 57, which is so high, but still,
So high, but like these defenses are just tough.
Right.
And their secondaries are like the worst. And it's like with these two offenses, I don't know. I would definitely lean over. I know it's a big number, but if I had to pick somewhere, that's where I'd go. I just think the spread's a little bit too close. Like I could easily see the Chiefs winning by like a field goal or like 4. But I would say like I would expect the Titans to have more of a letdown game after last week than the Chiefs, if I had to pick. But
Yeah, I need them to, honestly. I need one of those Chiefs wins to come through
and it's a
for me.
coming off a shorter week too. Like I don't know, it was a big win for them.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Chiefs have a little bit of pressure on them at 3-3. It's kind of get it together, or you might, struggle to make the playoffs, and that's not something that Pat Mahomes has probably had that pressure on, yet. They've kind of had a lot of success the past few years, so I'm kind of hoping that pressure kind of gets him going, and maybe we kind of have been, sleeping on the Chiefs a little bit. I still think they probably are, that elite offense that we're used to. So let's move on to the 4 o'clocks. I know you got, I don't know, man, I couldn't do it, but I know you got the Lions plus 15.5 here. Start that one off. We'll go Lions and Rams.
Yeah, so first time Lions are playing Stafford again. I think Goff's gonna be fired up. And I love that Dan Campbell called him out last week in the press conference. He said, you know what, he can be better, and like he should be better. And I think that's kind of taking a shot at him. And I think he's gonna respond this week. I don't think any way in hell the Lions win. Like I'm probably gonna take Rams as my survivor pick this week. But I can see them losing by like 10 or 14. I got it at 15.5. I just think that's way too many points. Like, I don't think the Lions are as bad as the Texans. Like,
Yeah,
I think we can hang in there. Defense has looked a little better for the Lions. Just the offense has been really struggling. But I'm going to trust the offense to put up some points here and get us to cover. So I'm taking Lions plus 15.5.
Yeah, this was a tough game for me to read because as much as I want to say, like you said, 15.5 points, that's a lot of points. Even if it is in LA, I just don't think the Lions are 15.5 points worse than LA. But I don't know, man. You never know what these kind of, I shouldn't say revenge games because, for Stafford, there really wasn't that much love lost. Maybe there was. I don't know. If there was, we didn't really know about it. But with Goff, on the other hand, I think he has something to prove. This is going to be his first game back in LA. There was a lot of shit that was talked about him after that trade. There's people that I saw in like the preseason that were ranking him like below Andy Dalton. And I'm just like, I don't think Goff is good, but I'm also just not so sure he's like a bottom 5 quarterback in the league, which is like kind of what they were saying. Like, oh, out of the starters in the league, he's like number 27. And I'm just like, I'm not so sure we're there. I think Goff has a lot to prove. He's going to be back in LA. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions covered this game. I kind of, if I was to lean one way, would probably lean with the Lions, but Fucking A, man. I've taken them and they've gotten smoked a couple times. And especially against the Bears. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, the Bears are relatively comparable to us. And then the Bears put the beat down on. And I don't know. We'll see. It's always tough betting on the Lions, but I agree in this spot. It's just so much points. So you kind of
Yeah.
have to, you know.
Yeah, I
But
mean, that's the way I saw it. And like, I like the revenge games. I think they're closer than people make them, like,
right.
especially in these spots.
Yeah. Maybe Goff comes out and balls out in LA. I think he's got
Yeah.
something to say to Sean McVay, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, how about let's move on? I know we both have a play on this game. We'll go to the Bucks and Bears game. I want to say Bucks full spread is minus 12.5 over the Bears. What do we got on this game? I know you got a full game play, I believe.
Yeah. So my full game play on this one is the Bears. 12.5 is what I got it this morning.
Yep.
I just think that's just way too much. I think Chicago's played pretty well lately. They had a chance to beat the Packers. Kind of just choked at the end. And they would have covered that game too, I think. But the running game, they didn't really get much help from the running game last week, which I'm kind of worried about. But I think this week they'll probably get it back. Bucks defense hasn't been that good stopping the run. That's why I think they cover here. It'll probably open up the game more up for Justin Fields. So I see them covering late here. Probably like if I had to pick like 30, like 21-ish game. So I'm taking Bears plus 12.5.
Yeah, me and Breeze are technically on opposite sides here, but a lot of what he had to say there is kind of the same reason that I'm taking this play. I'm going Bucks first half spread -7, and that just has a lot to do with I don't feel confident taking minus 12.5. Kind of like he said, I think the Bears probably would be the better full game play. But I also have seen what the Bucks have done the last 2 weeks against the Eagles. Everybody's like, wait a minute, 28-22 game. They let the Eagles back in that game. And that's the exact, like they were up 21-7 at half. So that goes more to my point. They were up 14 at half in that game. And then 2 weeks ago against Miami, they were up 24-10 at half. So they put up 21 points last week in the first half and then 24 the prior week. I'm not saying Miami is worse than the Bears, but I also feel like the Bucks probably are at least a touchdown better in the first half. I wouldn't be surprised if they were up 10, if they were up 14. Even if they pushed on -7, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But I just feel like if anything, the Bucks come out hot, and then like Breeze kind of said, they allow them back in the game, and 12.5 points is a ton of points to cover. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears somehow found a way with like a last second touchdown, garbage time to kind of cover that 12.5. But giving me 7 points in the first half, I think for sure Tom Brady's going to come out hot. They got to get the points on the board early like they have the last 2 weeks. And it doesn't matter if they, win by 6, or it doesn't matter if they win by 7 or 8, in the full game. I just got to have 7 first half. So I'm taking Bucks first half -7. Technically, we're on opposite sides. Not really. It's kind of same reasoning. You know what I mean? So
Run it back like last week, opposite side.
I guess I could have done full game, but like I said, I don't feel confident there. Taking Brady -7 the first half, I like that. So let's go to the Eagles game though. Once again, this is a game we both got to play on. Different plays though. Let's see what we got. Eagles and Raiders.
So for this one, I think Raiders had a big week last week. Surprised everyone. New coaching staff looked real good. I think Eagles, I don't know how to explain them. Like they're not good, but they still like get these surprising wins. I don't know. For me, I'm teasing them as my second part. I don't know. I kind of like +3, but it was just like too low of a spread for me to touch. So I got them at +9 along with Patriots -1. I don't see the Eagles losing more than a touchdown here. I think it's probably going to be like 27-20 game. So that's why I took them +9 in a teaser. I just think the Raiders are going to struggle with like Hurts being more of a running quarterback. I feel like they did well last week against Broncos because Bridgewater's more of a pocket passer. I think with Hurts moving and his diverse like weapons, think they're going to get some action going against their defense a little bit more than the Broncos did. So I think that's why they're going to end up covering the +9 here.
Yeah, I like that number a lot. I'm not on that play. I got the over in this one, but I agree. I think the Eagles are really going to stay in this game. I actually wouldn't be surprised if this game was kind of a shootout, and that's kind of why I'm taking the over. I'm taking over 49 this game. And I know that kind of seems like a high number, but the Eagles' points per game allowed the last 3 games is 29. That's not impressive at all. And then the Raiders' last 3 games have given up 24 apiece, and that's including one of their games against Chicago. So I'm just – I don't really think either one of these defenses is all that great. I think Jalen Hurts has enough firepower to kind of get something going against the Raiders defense. And I think Derek Carr, that Raiders offense obviously showed last week against a pretty good Denver defense. They put up 34 on Denver in Denver. So I got my ass, proven to me that I thought that Denver defense was pretty good. They put up 34 on them. They've put the game against Miami like 3-4 weeks ago, it was a 31-28 game. So Miami's not good, and they kind of were toying around 31-28. Once again, I just feel like these defenses aren't that good. And especially that Eagles defense has a lot of holes in it. I don't think Derek Carr is going to have too much issues. If he was able to do what he did last week and put up 34 points on Denver, I feel like the Raiders are good enough to put up plenty of points on the Eagles. But I think the Eagles are good enough to, like you said, stay in the game. We might get a very close back and forth game. And that's exactly what I want when I go over 49. So I like Eagles +9, like you said, but I'm also, locking in an official play on the over 49. So.
Like
right.
that.
No, I think that's it for me on 4 o'clocks. Do you have any more 4 o'clock
Yeah,
games here?
I have one more. Love how I touched every huge spread of a game, but the other one I touched, we're going Texans and Cardinals. I like the under here. I see it going 2 ways. They're either not going to like get up for this game because they know it's going to be like a cakewalk, and maybe the Texans come out and like battle with them, or it's going to be a complete blowout in the first half. And I think they'd be stupid to play all their starters if they're up like 21 at first half. I would say I'd put in, and I don't know if I'm Kingsbury, I'm putting in damn third string, save my players for next week. So I see no way this goes over 47.5. I think maybe the Cardinals alone put up, even if they put up 30, you have to expect that the Texans are going to put up more than 17. I don't see them scoring more than 17. I would have put it at like 42.5 if I had to like pick the line here. So I'm taking under.
Yeah, I kind of like that play. I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the Texans last week had a lot of issues with that Colts defense, 31-3. I think Cardinals defense is a little bit underrated. I mean, I'm not saying they're outstanding, but I think they're also, 17-10 2 weeks ago, and then 37-14. So really, all we would have to be worried about is,
You basically can't have the Cardinals scoring more than 30.
Yeah,
and I would hope that if you're up by at least like 3 touchdowns, which they should be, you would rest your starters.
Right.
And the second half just gonna be like wasting the time and like, let's get out of here. Like, I don't know. That's the way I see it. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but
No, I actually don't think you're wrong on this one. I think I'm actually going to add this in. Sometimes I love to do that. I end up throwing a play in, but I like what you're saying here, and I kind of agree. That Texans offense, like they stink, dude. Like, and they've looked really, really bad some weeks. Obviously, last week they put up 3 when I bet on them. But 2 weeks ago they didn't have a single point against the Bills, so that's kind of like what we would be looking for. Very similar, Josh Allen, just an absolute gunslinger. Kyler Murray, absolute gunslinger. Both of them can kind of run. Kind of has a similar matchup feel to me. I think I'm going to jump on under 47.5 with you. I just like you said, really the only concern I have is if Kyler Murray kind of gets cooking. But if he gets cooking, maybe they start running the ball. I think Arizona is not worried about this game at all. Like you said, I think they're probably planning to take out their starters. I would hope. They're 6-0.
Yeah, I'd hope so too. Like but I'm just looking at like the Texans against like good teams. Like Bills, they didn't score.
Mm-hmm.
Colts aren't that great on defense, and they only put up 3. Panthers are a better defensive team. They put up 9.
Yeah. That's not
Browns
impressive. Yeah.
somehow put up 21 on the Browns. But that's like the type of game that you would need that type of performance for this game to go over. Like that game was 31-21 Browns.
Yeah,
Like,
that was 52 points. I mean, it went
yeah,
over by a few.
yeah, you need
But you
that.
take a touchdown away, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I like that a lot. I like under 47.5. So I'm going to add that to my plays. We'll have a little squad play on that one. Plus, the other thing, the first thing I looked at when you were kind of describing that, there's 59% of bets on the over, and the numbers went down a little bit. So that's telling me that, some experts probably, some sharps are probably throwing some money, on that under. So
yeah, everyone thinks the Cardinals are going to put up like a 40 spot. And it's like, you realize if they're up that much, they're not going to put the starters in.
yeah, so I like under 47.5 though. Let's go to the Sunday night game. I think you got to play on this one, so let's get to that one.
Yeah, so for this one, I'm taking the Colts +4. I think these teams are like dead ass even. I would have put it like pick 'em or -1 49ers. I love taking like the underdog when it's like +4, +3.5 because you get that hook. Those are like good spots. Teams don't usually lose by like more than 4. So if they lose by 4, you push here. But I think it's going to be like, I think the 49ers probably still win Sunday Night Football at home, but they haven't looked real good. So I just see like a close game here, like 27-23 if I had to pick. So I'm going Colts +4 here.
Yeah, I think the Colts is probably the better play here. I'm sure some people will be like, wait a minute, 49ers off of a bye. But like, dude, Indy's looked pretty good the last 2 weeks. They kept up with Baltimore 2 weeks ago in Baltimore. So kind of a tough
Jonathan
one.
Taylor is looking good. And like, I don't know if the 49ers will be able to stop him. I know they have Bosa and like the defensive line's not like bad, but I don't know. They haven't stopped much of the running games that they played.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement on that one. I feel like if you're gonna do this game on Sunday Night Football, I might end up throwing a prop out there. Who knows? I like to do that on the primetime games. I don't know why. I just have a better feel for them. But I agree. Jonathan Taylor's been so good, dude. And 31-3 last week against Houston. Maybe that was their get right game. They're kind of coming into this game absolutely playing some of their best football. Like I said, 2 weeks ago looked great. Last week, obviously they looked very good, 31-3. So San Francisco might be coming off a bye and, whatever, maybe their injuries are a little bit, healed up and stuff, and they had a week to plan, but that doesn't really bother me. +4 is a lot of points. So I agree on that one. So
yeah, and like coming off a bye, I feel like
it's not always a good thing, honestly.
It's also like a bad thing, in my opinion, in the NFL. Like teams are out of it, they get they recover, but like the first half, they're just like, they feel so out of it to me. And then you're just like hoping that they have like a big second half for you to cover. It's like, I don't know. I like Indy here, and I feel like Wentz has been getting it together lately. I think they've got that offense going.
For sure. Monday night game, we'll finish it out with, a good primetime game. I'm kind of excited for this one. A little Jameis Winston, Geno Smith battle here. So
it's Winston MVP ticket. You can take that at the fucking fire.
Yeah, Jesus. I honestly, after week one and what he did against the Packers, I was like, maybe Breez has a point here. And then, but we got, the spread right now is Saints -4.5 and an over under of 43. I don't have a play on it. I don't think you do as well, but what would you lean here?
Yeah, I don't have a play on it. I think it's a perfect like one where we've done one of the multiple podcasts where we don't touch the Monday Night Football game and then like the spread moves like another 1 or 2 points. I love the Seahawks. I'm hoping it gets to like 6 or like 6, and if it gets to 6.5, I'd buy half a point, take it +7. But I like Seahawks at home. Like Geno Smith ain't bad. And I think they honestly should have won that game last week. I know they looked awful in the first half against the Steelers, but second half they looked pretty damn good. And I think it was a tough turnover at the end. Great play by Watt that caused a fumble, and they won on a field goal. But I think if he didn't get that fumble, they might have went down and scored right there and ended that game. And they're at home, 12th man. I like Seahawks here.
For sure. This is a game that it was so hard for me to kind of predict because I wanted to have a play on it. I was looking at the Saints. I like the Saints, but here's the thing. We've gotten away with the Saints some weeks, but this is the Saints, record. They're 3-2. They had a win over the Packers 38-3, looked absolutely, elite. We're like, wow, Sean Payton found his guy to replace Breeze. And then they
Yeah.
lose 26-7 to the Panthers. And then they come out the next week, beat the Patriots at New England. So 28-13 in New England. I'm like, wow, that's a pretty impressive win. And then they lose to the Giants at home. Like, what? And then they come out last week or 2 weeks ago and they beat the Washington football team 33-22. And that was kind of like the game where we were like, wow, maybe Washington's defense isn't that good, but you've lost to the Giants, but then beat the Packers and then also lost to the Panthers, but then beat the Patriots. Like none of it makes sense to me. They're one of the most
Yeah.
inconsistent teams this year. I can't bet on that, but maybe a player prop. That's my thing on Monday night a lot. So
I'm trying to look at Kamara, like rushing yards. I feel like that'd probably be the only way I'd probably lean.
yeah,
Seahawks run defense hasn't been great, and they're just gonna feed him the ball. Like I don't think they're gonna put the ball in Winston's hand that much on the road in that environment. I think they're just gonna run the ball a lot.
yeah.
I can't find it right now, but
Yeah, dude. A lot of times the props, when we're recording
it'll
this
be a
on
bad
Wednesday
play.
night or Thursday morning, they don't always come out, which is kind of the part of the reason I'm always like, hey, like just let me get a prop on Sunday night or Monday. Like just stay tuned, kind of try to watch my, tweets or whatever, and my action network. So I'll probably put something out. I'm like almost guaranteeing it, but
Yeah, they still
nothing's
haven't,
ever a guarantee.
they haven't put it out yet. I'm trying to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of them are out yet. But I mean, if he's like anywhere in like that 70, 80-ish range, I'd probably take over.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
there's a lot of value on those on the Monday night.
yeah, so I mean, we'll see, but I probably won't put a play out for that till like Monday. But I'd probably lean Seahawks. We'll see how the week goes.
Yeah.
If we're getting buried this weekend, I don't know if I want to touch anything Monday night. But if we're hot, I might dabble a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, you know what? Big comeback week for me. I'll have to catch up to Breeze. I don't know. 20-21 on my record right now. Not really looking so good. So, but that's it for bets, guys. As always, guys, follow us. At Breeze Picks or Breeze_Picks and at Beast_Picks on Twitter. And then the podcast Twitter is at TFD breakdown. And that's on Twitter, guys. Go and follow us. Obviously, subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, whatever you guys listen on. Subscribe because we're doing this every week, guys. So we're trying to give you guys some winning bets and give you guys a little bit of humor too with it. So,
Sure.
But that's it for us, man. You got anything to say before we go, man?
No, that's it. I think you made a great point. Like, make sure to subscribe, follow us. NBA's back. I'm a big NBA fan. Been having some plays there, so make sure to follow those. But yeah, just make sure to follow and subscribe us and continue to deliver for you guys.
For sure. Well, that's it, guys. We'll see you guys next week. We'll probably have a lot of winning bets this week, of course. So, happy betting, guys.
Peace.